Wait a minute. What's happening here? That's better. Hello and welcome everyone to the Timber Report. How are you all? I just hope I'm showing up. Everyone's working. So we should be working. I'm very casually dressed, but I've been very busy today and working out with pipes and everything going, oh my goodness, it's a nightmare. It's some kind of Chinese torture. I don't mind the concept of building work, but then you go, what do you want a radiator? Where are you putting this pipe? Where are these wires going? Anyway, so that's a few late nights for me with some architects' drawings and mapping things out, which is going to be a nightmare. Mitch Cameron, who's in? Let's see who's in first. Scott the Prussian, how you doing? John Coppasack, see, brother, how are you? Westover 1314, how you? Marty, it's been big news here, Marty. Corifus, how you doing? Peter Holder, nice to see you, brother. Mitch Cameron, yes. Roland Santos, how you doing? And Joseph P. Taylor, how you doing? Mitch Cameron, well, I've got you there, actually. Look what I've got. I was just doing a bit of housekeeping, and I suddenly realised Sherry hasn't been sent one of these. And it's now been filled in, and it's winging its way to you. It will be tomorrow. There you go. A certificate for Sherry. There you go. And I have been praying for Sherry's mum and for Ken Wood's wife as well there. So, look, that's beautiful. That's a baptismal certificate. There you go. That's from the Magdalene Chapel. Isn't that a beautiful certificate? Just show you a bit better. Is that not a beautiful certificate? The modern ones are so garbage now. They're horrible. They're just cheap, nasty looking things. So there you go. I'll just roll this up again. Wait a minute. We'll get this in out of the way because it gets creased. It's an A3 size. You need an A3 size folder if you want to frame it. Or you can in there, right in there. And that's it. So there you go. That's to go to Sherry all over in Texas in the good old you want that? That's to go to Sherry Cameron. That's a baptismal thing. It is beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful certificate. It's wonderful. It's great. Let me see where we are here. Let me see, folks. Hold on a minute. Hold on. It's been a horrible day. Let me tell you. Wait a minute. What did you read? You read you something from Galatians. I can't remember if it's Galatians 1 or Galatians 2. I can't remember. So just bear with me. Galatians. Sorry, for Galatians. No, Galatians. Wait a minute. It's no Galatians. There only is one Galatians. Hold on a minute. We'll get there. I should have this looked out for you. But at Thessalonians, that's what it is. 1st or 2nd Thessalonians. I beg your pardon. So, I read this the other day, but I want to read it again. Because this is all about when the Antichrist comes. Now, I preached on this the other day as well. And I hope folk understand it. I want to read this. It's a wee bit of a long bit, but I think we should read it as often as we can and study it. It's Galatians 2, chapter 2. Hear ye the Lord. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there shall be a falling away first. That man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he may be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only in who now let until he be taken out of the way. Important. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all powers and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the truth, that they may be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they all may be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. Amen. And we know the Lord will add his blessing to this, the public reading of his infallible, inspired, and inerrant word. The people of God said, Amen. I just want to draw your attention to something here in this passage. Verse 4, who opposeth, this is the man of sin, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing him that he is God. This is very interesting. So the Bible's telling us here, the apostles telling the Galatians, look, there'll come a time when people will be saying, oh, Christ is coming, Christ is coming. And people now are saying that now because there's a sort of an awakening of Christianity again. And people are saying, oh, look, everybody's turning to God. Christ is going to come back soon. It tells us there. Christ won't come back until first there's a great falling away. And the man of sin, the son of perdition, is revealed. And what will he do? He will perform great wonders, great signs and lying wonders. And he that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. But he is the man of sin, the son of perdition. Now, especially my American friends, think about the rapture. Think about the Christian Zionists and what they believe. They believe soon Christ will come back and sit in the temple. They'll start sacrificing the red heifer again, and he'll be sitting in the temple. We're told here, this is the son of perdition, that man of sin, the son of perdition. He's going to set himself up in the temple, calling himself God, performing signs and great wonders, real supernatural stuff, and people will all be amazed and think. But who's going to be amazed? Those who do not believe the truth, who do not love the truth, and they will be damned. Is that not exactly what many Zionist Christians or Messianic Christians or rapture people, that's exactly what they believe, that Christ is going to come back soon when there's a big revival, and he'll sit in the temple, calling himself, declaring himself to be God. Paul's warning. He's warning the church at Thessalonica. He's warning them. This is exactly what's going to happen. But it's that, who it really is that's that man of sin, the son of perdition. And even coming after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. Why, oh why can people who are into dispensationalism and the rapture not understand this? Why can't they understand this? It's incredible. Madness. But there we go. So be careful. And the only people who don't understand it is those who love not the truth. If you love the truth, it won't fool you. So there you go. So I did that on Sunday as well. But we need to really drill down in this because it's ridiculous. Yes. Marty there saying, tensions rise with Belfast City Hall Palestinian flag. Yes. Well, let me tell you what happened in Belfast. The council that's run by a bunch of lefty liberal Protestants, well, atheists, and Sinn Féin IRA Marxist Catholics outvote the decent, good Christian people now. So they voted to put the flag up, Palestinian solidarity. The citizens then took out a High Court injunction to prevent it, which was a legal High Court, that's like your Supreme Court injunction. That's not to go up. The council's done it anyway. Yeah, they went against a High Court injunction. That's like the Supreme Court rule, and they put it up anyway. So that annoyed a lot of the Protestants. The way it breaks down in Ireland, I know it's typical in this country. The Catholic, Nationalist, Republican community support Palestine. The Protestant Unionist, loyal community don't, and they support Israel. Curse in both our houses, I say. Anyway, everybody went mental. And on Saturday was the most bizarre spectacle in Belfast City. You've never seen a like it in your born days. There was a wonderful parade first to celebrate St Andrew's Day, the Ulster Scots Agency, because I'm an Ulster Scot, you call it Scotch Irish. It's a ethnicity now recognised in law. So they had a big parade through Belfast, up Royal Avenue to the City Hall. City Hall sits at the top of Royal Avenue, a very palatial walkway through the city. So they come in, very respectable, pipe bands, and the Scottish dancing girls, very respectable, non-political. They marched up to City Hall. Now, at City Hall, there was already a demonstration because it was 13 years anniversary of the ripping down of our national flag from Belfast City Hall, which has been up there since the day it was built in 1903. Now, I was one of the leaders of those protests. Now, we kept the protests going about 3 months. We brought the city to a standstill. It was total chaos. And they threw my butt in jail. And 500 other people with me. They put 500 of us in jail for trying to defend the national flag in the UK And that's what they've done. That's how mad this country's went. So they people were all there for the 30th anniversary of the flag getting ripped down. So you had the Ulster Scots, you had the people at the protest for the flag coming down. And then, because of the Palestinian carry on, you'd have a load of loyalists marching into town to protest against the Palestinian flag, who were all carrying Israeli flags and IDF flags. One of the bands actually had flags with IDF on one side and the Star of David on the other side. Complete madness. And I guarantee if you asked any of them, why have you done that? Well, that other lot, the communists are supporting Palestine, so we'll support Israel. That's it. That's as deep as it goes. They're not dispensationalists or rapture people or Christian Zionists, none of that. They're just they're reactionaries. So they arrived in. Now, they're just, and this is, Belfast is a tiny city. In the city hall, from the road, there's only maybe 80 metres across, 80 yards across. And then as they arrived, the pro-Palestinian march from West Belfast, the Catholic Nationalist Republican area, come into the city, a couple of thousand strong. And they all got the Palestinian flags, and they all converged at the one place at the city hall. It was like a 3-ring circus. You've never heard it. And they top it all off, because this is Ireland, they were all stark raving bonkers in this country. A street preacher sets up with the most powerful speakers you can ever imagine, and he's roaring, "Repent, flee to the cross, will Christ may be found today, could be your last day," doing all the mad, really good Bible preaching. And of course, a lot of the loyalists are very irreligious these days. They're chanting, you can shove your Palestine up somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. You've got the Palestinian people ranting and raving back about from the river to the sea. Whole thing was a madness. And somebody said, "Why didn't you go, Jim?" Why didn't I go? Because I'm sane and I want to stay sane. Well, sort of. It was the maddest thing I've ever seen. But I've got a wee clip, not the whole thing, because it was just too mad. I didn't splice it all together. I'm not very good at that. But I can show you a wee bit. It's completely mental. Completely mad. Here's a wee bit of it here. Let me see. Let's have a look now. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. Am I playing? How do I play this? Oh, there we go. Well, I'm never ashamed of my people, but sometimes I hang my head and think, oh my goodness, what is going on? One side of a flag, a Star of David, the other side, the IDF flag. Now, one of our brothers here, Duncan, said, here are the ones who don't get arrested, all the terrorist supporters and their friends. Of course, it's much the same here as well. Although I would say the Palestinian flag represents a load of terrorists. And I would say the Star of David also represents a gang of terrorists. One state sanctioned, one not. Unbelievable. But just as that parade got there, then the pro-Palestinian, several thousand strong, just come round the same street and they all converged in the one bit with the street preacher in the middle. It was utter chaos. But the sad reality is, here in Northern Ireland, if one side supports something, the other side hates it. If the other side hates something, the other one loves it. So because the nationalists, the Catholic, the Republican people, they support Palestine, the Protestants have decided, in their wisdom, we're going to support Israel. And they're all wondering about Israel flags, having a notion, couldn't even point in a map, having a notion what they're doing. But rather embarrassing to see, and obviously I wouldn't be there because I would have no part in that kind of thing at all. My son was asked to go because he's a band guy to take part, and he said no, thank you, and didn't turn up either. He didn't go. It's just nonsense, absolute nonsense. But this is the type of country we live in. The only good thing is when we're upset about something, we do something. We tend not to do the rallies. We march, but there was thousands there. There was loads and loads of people behind that band, and they all piled in there. There was maybe 2,000 or 3,000. And then the pro-Palestinian march was about 1,000, 1,500 strong. They come round the corner. The Ulster Scots were marching about with the bagpipes and the Scottish dancers. You've never seen anything like it in your born days. But that's what's happening. Exactly. Marty says both flags have nothing to do with the UK. Exactly. There's no foreign flag should fly above our city halls other than our own flag. Maybe if a dignitary comes, say President Trump comes to visit Belfast, there's nothing wrong with hoisting up the American flag in honour of him. Nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. Or if the Zimbabwean president came, whatever, doesn't matter. You can put their flag up as a mark of respect, no problem. But just putting a flag up for no apparent reason other than showing solidarity with some other country, that's not acceptable, I'm afraid. And of course, they put the gay flag up and all the rest of it. So what's the big deal? People tend to get their knickers in a twist. And I said, well, where was everybody marching when they put the gay flag up? You know what I mean? So we've got to keep it real. But that's what's happening in this mad country. But there's a lot of stuff happening here in Ireland. A few months ago, there was a group of guys put out a sort of paramilitary video from Dublin. It wasn't real. I could tell a mile away by the way the guys spoke and the way they handled themselves. They weren't real terrorists. This week, another one came out. I don't know if Jerry showed you this other day, but these guys are real. There's no doubt about it. And these are a Republican Catholic group who are not very happy. The immigrants getting shipped into a town called Newry, which is near the border. It's a sanctuary city, which means all those people, the Protestants, burnt out. Remember a few months ago, they burnt all the houses down in Ballymena? They were all moved here. So these Catholic folk are saying, no, we're not having this. But it's a Catholic-controlled council, but the council are all Sinn Féin IRA communists. So at last, some of the normal working class guys have said, we're not having this anymore. See you later. And there's quite a lot of retired terrorists down, IRA men down that neck of the woods. So they've now decided to come out and do this. And it's very interesting because you also mentioned sex education, which is a breath of fresh air because they don't like that either. Have a look at these guys.
To the people of Newry, Mourne and Down, we, the New Republican Movement, have watched their councillors and MLAs over the past 12 months. The level of disrespect shown to the people who put you into power, this cannot be ignored any longer. We are proud men of Ireland, we are patriots. Your policies and decision-making in regards to flooding our communities with undocumented military-aged men is not acceptable. We will not sit back any longer and watch our culture and religion destroyed by the people we put in power. Also, the sexual indoctrination of our children in schools has not went unnoticed either. The New Republican Movement will take immediate action against anyone who threatens our ways of life and the safety of our women and children. We have your addresses and known your movements. Every one of you are legitimate targets as of today. The New Republican Movement, the 28th of 11/25.
Well, now I'd say those chaps are rather serious. Not messing about. There's a bit of armaments there, so a shotgun, a couple of pistols. I'm sure they've got a lot more stuff. So, it's heating up here. And isn't it strange? But, Ireland's only been having mass immigration now for 5 years. And, you can see it's going to kick off here. The Protestants were burning out all the Romanians a couple of months ago in Ballymena. Now the Catholics are coming out with guns and saying we're not having this, and threatening elected representatives. We know who you are. We've got your addresses. You're going to be targets. It's getting scary, and it's getting. But I would be dishonest if I sat here and said, "Oh, I think this is terrible," because I don't. People have been driven to this, my friends. I'm not condoning violence or terrorism in any way, shape, or form, but I'll tell you what's terrorism. When your government ships tens of thousands of military-aged men into camps all over your country with no women and no kids. That's terrorism. I'll tell you what else is terrorism. When the state takes your child at 4 years old and teaches them about oral sex and anal sex at 4, I'm not joking, it happens here. That's terrorism. I'll tell you what terrorism is. Terrorism is when the local people, if the young people do the right thing, get married, the waiting list for a council house, that's a government house, the waiting list now is 100 years. 100 years. That's the waiting list to get a house. Why? Because in law, somebody comes in from Somalia, they have to be housed immediately. Immediately. They jump over everybody in the queue. So people who've lived for generations and generations in parts of Ireland where they've fought the British and the English to a standstill, where they've lost many family members, or the other side, the Protestants have fought the IRA for years and years, their kids, 100 years have got to wait for a house. A Somalian comes in, gets a house next week. That's terrorism. So men of the community, whether they be Catholic or Protestant or atheist, I don't care what they are, pink spots on them, I don't care. Men who then say, we're not having this. We're not having this thing at all. We're going to sort this out. And so that's what happens. And people then get a bit upset and take the law into their own hands. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's just the way human beings are when nobody's doing anything for them. Okay? Don't know what's happened here. So come up there, some posts of the stream menu are deleted by Facebook. It was deleted. Or maybe Facebook's kicked one of our things off. Let me see. Remove this destination. Delete. Remove. Okay. Okay, so I had to delete something there. Don't know why. Anyway, so that's what's going on. You see, this is what's going on. And you can't blame people. It's terrible stuff. Thanks, Ewan, for putting that link up. For people who have not booked in their ashes into the chapel, please do so, because it's small, it's limited, so you need to be quick to do that. And Ewan, could you put some links up, please, if you don't mind, for the renovation fund, because we're coming in near Christmas now, and I know everybody's tight for money, and it's been very, very difficult all week. Thankfully, last week, Mitch Cameron was very generous and helped us out an awful lot with the building fund, but other than that, we're dwindling away, and we need about $700 or $800 every single week just to pay the wages and the bits and bobs that we're getting in the supply. So we really need your help. So if you can help us at this time, I would be very grateful. And it would probably stop me getting even more grey hairs. So he went up at that link up in a wee bit. But thank you. Mitch says, I think these boys some of them are cops. Absolutely, of course they are. But Mitch really helped us out last week. I don't know what we'd have done. So we're under pressure. So there's a link there for the Priory work. It does go on. I know you kind of forget about it. You get used to it. But we do need your help. And people think, well, what's the difference if I only throw $20 in or something? Well, if everybody threw $20 in, we get it, job done. It's as simple as that. Job done. So there we go. Scott the Prussian said SSPX are not allowed by doctrine to be cremated. I would have to. Yes. Well, you can put a lock of your hair in. There's one guy. It's a bit strange. One of your members in Canada is going to have his finger removed and pickled or something. I don't know. He's going to send a finger over. I says, why don't you just cut a lock of your hair? Oh, that'll do. We can put your hair in the box and put it in the chat. That's enough. We don't want to be putting anything. There's a lot of Protestants as well. Don't do the cremation stuff. I personally don't really like cremation, but I know it's very popular nowadays. So what can you do? But Scott, there's no way we'd have room to put your entire carcass in that church, brother. Just saying. So a lock of hair or a finger. But I'm not looking forward to this finger coming through. That'll be a rather strange experience. Yeah, but these guys in Ireland, they're obviously, they're getting annoyed, and because Ireland's been flooded, and there is a plan going on here to replace us. I know people say it's a conspiracy, but it is a conspiracy. It's real. It's not a fantasy conspiracy. It's a real conspiracy. Conspiracies are real. Not all of them, but the replacement is. You don't believe me? Open your door anywhere in Britain or in Texas or in Dearborn or in New York. Look outside your door and you'll see it's real. You don't need me to tell you. But yeah, this is what's going on. Here's an interesting film about replacement. Have a look at this.
Back in Europe, and by extension, America, Canada, and Australia, the indigenous people, cultures, and nations have now lost their right to exist in their own homelands and are now facing extinction. In fact, today it is basically a crime for an area to be too white. No school, no town, no nation is allowed to be white anymore. Yet there are no one pushing for Israel, the Middle East, Africa, or Asia to become multicultural, right? The indigenous people of Europe are treated like second-class citizens in their own countries. The governments are actively working to lift up so-called minorities and push whites down. As an example of the utter hypocrisy, Israel, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain have refused to take in refugees. So, have you seen any media footage about this? Have you seen anyone calling them racist? While white European women of childbearing age today are a small minority of 2% of the entire world's population, they are encouraged to breed outside of their own race, to throw away thousands of years of ethnic heritage and culture. The result will be that those pure genetics that have been refined in Europe for thousands of years will be gone.
Well, that's just a wee glimpse of what we're talking about here. And it's very, very frightening what's going on. And extinction is a genuine issue. I mean, everybody who's anybody is now talking about the demographic tsunami that's going to hit us. It's going to be, and I quote, the biggest existential threat to mankind in our history, in man's history. I don't think that's true for all of mankind, but it's certainly true for white mankind. This is what's coming, what we're in. It's not coming, we're in it. We're in it right now. This is the biggest existential threat to our survival ever. Worse than the Roman Empire collapse, worse than the glacial ice caps, worse than all of that. And that's what we are actually in. We're in the foothills of it now. But over the next 10, 15, 20 years, it'll all become very apparent, and it's irreversible. This is the problem. So things are going to change for us all, and it's going to change for good and forever. And all we can do is, I think we need to ground ourselves in our faith of our fathers, because, if you take up Christianity as a real governing force and we separate ourselves out and we encourage our children to marry young and have lots of kids, we will survive. There's no doubt about it, but we'll have to be away from the others because they won't survive and they don't want, they just don't want the medicine, the cure. The magic pill is Jesus Christ. They won't take it. So there's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing we can do about that. If somebody's got rabies and they're running about biting everybody, you have to stay away from them because they won't take the injection to cure them. That isn't Jesus Christ. They won't take it. And, Jim, why do you compare these godless people with rabies? Because they're worse than people with rabies. If you're living in an area where it's mainly non-Christian, you're mixing with these people all the time, or your children are mixing with these people, they are being infected by their poison. It's just the same as being bitten with a rabid dog. If you go to Spain or some hot countries where rabies is prevalent, people are terrified of a stray dog. Everybody's back, get back, because they know the damage contact with that dog can cause. It will destroy that child. It will destroy the family. It will destroy the village. It will destroy the town. It will destroy the city if that disease gets loose. That is secularization. Secularization is a poisonous toxin that we must avoid, and we must protect our children from imbibing that toxin. So I say to Christians, come out from among them and be ye separate, touch not the unclean thing, and saith the Lord, and I will receive you. We have no choice in it. The Bible's clear on it. Surely by now you know this is what we need to do. And look, I'm not going to go, oh, holy Joe here. Let's be realistic. I'm a normal Jew, not a holy Jew, and we have to be realistic. There's certain societies like this society that I live in. Not everybody in this town's a Christian. It's not a tiny, tiny village, Cumber. You've been there most of these. But there's 11 churches here and they're all full. Still wouldn't make up even half the population. So half the population probably don't even go to church. About probably 50, 60% of people in this town don't go to church. 40 or 50 do. But those people that don't go to church and make no profession of faith at all, there's that, because they live in such a Christian-dominated society, they have been infected by us in a good way. So we're in the majority, so we infect them. So their behaviour is much better than you would get if I went back to my hometown in Scotland, where it's Christianity is almost wiped out now. That's very negative, and they would infect me and my children. But here, we, the Christians, infect the general population. We infect them, and they become much better and much more moral and much better. They're not Christians, but they're doing okay. So I don't mind that. We can live with that. We can deal with that. But we cannot deal with rampant secularism, because that is worse than rabies. And that's what I'm saying. And I hope you can see this. I don't want it to sound too extreme, but it's deadly. It's that. With a guy in here the other day, helps the Templars these days. He's a Roman Catholic man with 4 children, speaks the Gaelic, the natural language of this country. Lovely, lovely guy. Works well with us. And he's a friend of Niall McConnell as well, another good Catholic man. And he was telling me he was up at his old school, Catholic school. And he went in and he thought, something funny here. No Christmas tree. No mention of Christmas. And the woman in the school said to him, oh, happy holidays. And he looked at her and she went, oh, well, you don't think you like that? You're offended? He says, yeah, what are you talking about? Happy holidays, happy Christmas. What are you talking about? He says, well, we don't say that now because we might offend people. We don't have the tree up now because it might offend people. Offend who? I have never met a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist who's ever said to me, I am so offended by this Christmas stuff. Never, never in my life. I know Muslims, I know Jews, I know Hindus, I know Sikhs who all do Christmas. They don't believe in it, but they do it anyway because it's a bit of crack, a bit of fun. I've never met anybody who's... So where is this coming from? This is coming from the white, liberal, middle-aged women, woke, crackpottery school. That's where it's coming from. Every time you dig in and see who's behind this nuttiness. It's like recently in England, a council lowered the St. George's English flag because he said it'll upset the local Muslims. The imam went up and cracked up and he got the newspapers down outside his mosque, his Muslim mosque. He's got an England flag flying. He says it's not offending us. Nobody even said anything to us. Who done it? The head of the council was a middle-aged, green-haired, freak, weirdo, woke woman. It's always the same. It's never a man, never some crazy woke man. It's always middle-aged, middle-class, woke women. Always. And that's where all this stuff's coming from. So we need to distance ourselves from these people. We need to get away from them because it's not good, is it? It's not good at all. Who are people saying here? Short recently, 2 degrees here, a bit chilly. Ooh, aye, wear a sweater. I think you must. I've got a wait a minute. I've got a thermal vest on under this, but this is a big heavy shirt and this is a very heavy jacket, and it's warm in here. We've got the fire on, you know, the big open fire in the chapter house. We've got the fire roaring. It's actually boiling. It's about 25 degrees in here. I'll go outside. It'll be frozen at the bone. Yeah, Duncan says the churches where I live are all woke garbage. Isn't that awful? Duncan, where do you live? Where do you live, Duncan? Aye, Scott says purple-haired cat owning Gorlocks. Absolutely, that's what they are. Mitch Camus is saying, I just kicked in all, but oh, you're very kind. Thanks, Mitch. But you know, we can't leave it to the same people all the time. So if you can, I'll get you the link again. Where'd they go? Sammy says to the Camerons, still waiting in wedding photos. What's happening with these wedding photos? It's outrageous. He's not getting his wedding photos after this guy took the photos. I think he's ran away with them, Sammy. Or there was nothing in his camera. And he's terrified to tell you. That happened to one of my daughters, you know. Photographer took all the photos of the wedding, disappeared. She never got her wedding photos. Gone. Lost the disc of the card or something. I don't know how you work it all. I live in Owen Sound, Ontario. Oh, and you live in Canada. Ontario Sound, Canada. Don't know much about it, but aye, this is the problem. But listen, Duncan, if you really search about, I'm sure there'll be, I don't know, what are you, Protestant or Catholic? If you're Protestant, I'm telling you, there will definitely be somewhere, a Reformed church, because they're everywhere. I don't know where Ontario is. Is that, Sammy, do a Google there. Where is Ontario? Is it the right-hand side or the left-hand side? Where is it near? Where is it near? And if you're Catholic, there'll be some SSPX churches somewhere. Maybe, something like that. Latin Mass. Roland Sasanto says, where does the ideology come from? I thought, and where are many secular Freemasons, Kabbalists pretend to be European with changing?
Central border.
East
East Central side and
Oh, it's just above Chicago and Michigan. Okay, there'll definitely be Reformed churches there, definitely, because that Michigan and all that up that neck of the woods is the home of the Calvinists. Oh, it's beside Quebec. You'll find something there, I'm telling you, or a good Catholic church, you will. Yeah, many people do change their name so they can get away with it, so they can try and pretend they're European, they're not. It's like all those ministers who run Israel. You look at all their names, that's not their real names. Well, look at the Bolsheviks, Lenin, that's not his name. He's Jewish. The Bolsheviks were a Jewish movement, absolutely. Lenin, Trotsky, all them people, all Jewish. Karl Marx, Engels, all Jewish. But they changed their name so they sound a wee bit more acceptable to people and fool more people. Anyway, that's what's been going on. But it's serious, and we have to distance ourselves. And why should we distance ourselves? Well, look, here's a wee clip coming out of England. This is the behaviour of people who live in streets that are mixed now. I've got to put up with these people day in and day out. People are getting tired of it. I know it's the same in America. You have a different problem, not so much Pakistanis, but you know, these uncivilized people who live amongst us, they make your life a misery, don't they? Listen to the abuse this guy gives, this Muslim guy gives an English woman. There's no need for it. Listen.
You son of a bitch. Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah?
You're not allowed.
I'll fucking move your fucking phone out my face before I smack it one. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You are son of a bitch.
You are, look at you. You eat pork and you fucking look like pork.
Yeah.
You fucking pig. You fucking pussy.
Yeah. This is racist.
Yeah. How's that
This is
racist?
racist.
I'll call you a pork bastard. I'll call you a white bastard.
Based on religion.
Oh,
based,
really,
man.
really,
Yes.
really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't even
You
try.
fucking true.
You don't even try
Yeah.
to do.
I mean, seriously, this way spitting on them. This is what people up and down the length of this country have to put up with day in, day out. Why should our wives, our fathers, our brothers, our sons, our daughters, why should they have to put up with this? There's no need for it. And of course, if you phoned the police, that guy, I'm telling you right now in England, if you phoned the police for that guy, they question you. Are you a racist? Are you a member of the Templars? Are you a member of the Christian Nationalist Party? They would question you to see what your motivation was. Shouldn't have to live like this, my friends. Yep. Aye. He does need to tune up. That big fella still laid him out, but you can't because you get to jail here. What's up?
I forgot because somebody's away. I took the phone out there.
Oh, Marion's away up the street with a phone in her pocket, the work's phone in her pocket. That's no good. We shouldn't need to put up with this carry on. It's too much, and people in this country are getting a bit of fatigue over it. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I'm looking here. Who's in the? I missed somebody there. I've seen somebody there. Did I see somebody's name? I never mentioned them. Beg your pardon. Was it Corey or something like that? Corey? Don't know. There's not many folk in the chat today. Very few in here. I wonder what's happened. Very strange. Don't see many folk in here today at all. I seen Corey or something. I think I mentioned him earlier on. Yeah, there's not that many in the chat. They don't know what's happened, gentlemen. I don't know if he's getting notified or I put it up too late to get notified. Maybe it's my fault. It's entirely possible. I don't know. But I don't know how this thing works. Do you get notified when a purge gets booked in or something? Let me know, because I don't know how it works. Because if that is the case, I need to book this in earlier so people know. But there we are. So, and recently, they all need to be deported. They certainly do, but it's not going to happen, is it? That's the problem. So the other thing I want to show you is there's a band here, from here, one of these flute bands from here, went to London. And they were going to walk past the Cenotaph. That's our holiest of holies. That's the war memorial for the whole country. It sits in Westminster. And they were blocked. Now, I don't have a full video, so we've missed the exciting bit, but I can't find it. I did see it, and I can't find it. We've missed the exciting part, this is just before the exciting part. They're just coming down to the bit where they have the problem. But what happened was all the pro-Palestinian demonstrators blocked the Whitehall, where our Cenotaph is, our national war memorial. So this band from here, Sammy's wife's sister is one of the girls with the flags. And the brother, there's quite a lot of family in the band. And they went from Northern Ireland to London to pay their respects to the war dead, and then found their way was blocked by thousands of these smelly lefty pro-Palestinian freaks. So they're a very unique approach to clearing the road, and I'll show you in a minute. I always check Purge if there is a stream. But Ewan, do people get notified if I book this in like 10 minutes before? Do they just get a 10 minutes notification, or have I got to book it in an hour before? I don't know how it works. It'd be interesting to know how it works, and I could do it, because there's not many people in here today, and I don't know why. I don't know if they'd be lucky if there's a dozen folk in here today. Be lucky. So I don't know what's happened there. Anyway, so this band decided to clear the street in the most unique way that only Ulster people can think of, and have a look at this as they march down Westminster, I think, towards a huge crowd of Palestinians blocking the way. And we have a saying here in Gaelic, Fachabala, clear the way. And this is Fachabala, Ulster style.
Clonderg loyalists in London yesterday going past Horse Guard Parade. This band was antagonised, annoyed, pushed. Protesters, they done a phenomenal job. Well done, this band.
Did you see the girls at the beginning? I'll just show you quick. This dog's up again.
Clonderg loyalists in London yesterday going past.
So the girls at the they just lowered them instead of, because on the top of the flag's a big spike, they just lowered the flags down and marched, cleared the way. It's the way to do it. I mean, the police should have done it. The police shouldn't be allowing anybody to block the Whitehall. This is where Downing Street is. This is where the cenotaph is. Nobody should be allowed to block that. I don't care who you are. You shouldn't be allowed to block them, those kind of places. But anyway, they cleared them, and there's no more said about it. But it was interesting to see. Just get out of the way. But that's what's going on. That's the world we live in, and it's the world that our children sadly are going to grow up in. And I don't think it's a very nice prospect for them. So we need to do what we can, and that's one other reason it's very important to be a Templar, that we have a community that's built, that we know roughly what to do. You know, we have the books, and we must really start pushing those books again, the Great Reset and the Reconquista. We need to start pushing the books again. We haven't pushed them for a long time, and we're still got quite a big stock, because it's important we get them into people's hands so they can actually see what's going on, what can be done. Because all this false hope we're getting from Tommy Robinson, UKIP, all these daft parties that are popping up all over the place, it's all nonsense. We know that. And we just get told today that the Labour government have cancelled many, many mayoral elections that are supposed to be next May. You're talking about the south of England, maybe 10, 15 million people just been deprived of an election because they say so. And this dictatorship is at the heart of all of these commie groups. Labour, the Democrats in America, let's be honest, they're communists dressed up to look like socialists, democratic socialists. They're nothing of the sort. They are absolute communist dictators, and in a heartbeat, they would have you, me, in the gulags. 100%. Anywhere where socialism gets a grip, you're going to the gulag. We know that. So be very, very, very careful. Okay? Right, well, I think that's all we've got today. I'm going to leave you with a lovely, lovely... it's one of my favourite tunes. One of my favourite tunes. I love it. Even though I'm a Protestant, I love it. So it's for all, especially the Catholic members. It's a beautiful rendition of Schubert's Ave Maria. I know there's two versions of Ave Maria, but I like this one. This is my favourite one, Schubert, Ave Maria. And it's just wonderful. I mean, I went to a wedding once, and it was a Catholic wedding, and they brought this woman out with a harp and a singer, and they sang Ave Maria for the wedding party. It was just unbelievable. And I was in this beautiful, it was Newman's, Cardinal Newman's Church in St. Stephen's Green, Dublin. And I'd never heard anything so beautiful in all my life, sung live in this old marble church. I'd never heard anything like it in my life. So, yeah, it was just beautiful. So we're going to have a wee look at that and have a notion of it. But thank you for joining me today. As I say, I don't know why there's so many people missing today. I don't know what's happened there, but we'll wait and see. Who's saying here something here, Matt? He's saying deport them. Absolutely. They're needing deported, but it's not going to happen. There's too many of them in now. There's millions and millions and millions of them, and they ain't going anywhere. The best we can do is try and separate ourselves out for these people and keep our own people right. Let's be positive, not negative. Okay? What can we do for our people? How can we build our communities? How can we strengthen our families? How can we strengthen this order? How can we come together to withstand the tsunami that's coming? That's what we need to ask ourselves, and that's what we need to work on. I've still got people trying to look at communications equipment, because I don't think it's going to be that long before the comm stuff is down. So we're having people look at that, experts, and see if we can sort something out with that, because it's very, very important. Because one thing's for sure, doesn't matter what happens, we'll be here, and we ain't going anywhere, and we're not going down without a fight. You better believe it. So God bless you all. I'll leave you with this beautiful, beautiful hymn sung by a very beautiful woman in a beautiful set. Everyone's just lovely about it, and I hope you like it. And God bless you all. I'll see you, God willing, of course, on Sunday for the Templar sermon on Sunday. Goes out at 4 p.m. our time. Don't know what that is in America. About 11 or 12 o'clock Eastern, I think. Standard time. I don't know. It's right about that time anyway. So God bless each and all of you. Thank you, the people who did come in and join us. Please, please, please keep me in your prayers, the renovation project. And if you can possibly help us out with that at this moment in time, please do so. We would really appreciate your help. Well, thank you. God bless you all. And remember, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Dus vol.
Van Frans Schubert, het Ave Maria. En ze zinken werkelijk wie een engel. Geef voor een enorm applaus uit Australië, Marussia.
bravo.